There's a crisis happening in Canada and people aren't talking enough about it. There's an ever widening gap in productivity from Canadian workers to their US counterparts. And I think one of the real problems underlying that is that Canadian companies spend only 6/10 of what their US counterparts do on technology. And we all know that technology is one of the key drivers for productivity gains. We're now in the bottom quartile of all OECD countries globally. And it's very scary. If we don't do something about it, our companies, our Canadian headquartered accounts are sitting ducks to be taken over by global counterparts. Because the math behind it is if you've invested in technology improvements and gotten them in some other part of the world, you can bring those same improvements to the Canadian companies and justify the acquisition costs by the investments that you've made. We either make these investments or we're going to keep losing headquarters like we have in Nexen and Viterra and Four Seasons and Fairmont and Labatt's and Molson's, and the list goes on and on. What Canadian companies need to do to change is stop sitting on cash and make investments with it. Canadian companies have way more cash as a percentage of their balance sheets than almost any country in the world, and they either need to return that cash to the shareholders in the form of dividends, or more importantly, use that cash to make investments in technology to improve that productivity per worker.